Change what we have to borrow. Wow. Oh. The only constant in the world is what? Change. Whether you change your perspective, whether you change your room, maybe you change a location. Things. Maybe just change the way you look at things from a different perspective. Where were you? Where are you? What are you doing? That shit changes. Is your new perspective good? Is your thoughts on something, is that okay? Did you simply change your mind, or changing of your mind, did it change your lifestyle? You know, is it simply just, by moving, whatever it might be. Is the change that you may make, is that good for you? Maybe that change that you decided to make didn't really work out. Give me a sec, I gotta pop this in the box. Where are you going with it? What do you want to do with it? There's one fact, you don't know till you try. Who benefits from this change? Well, if you've made a decision to change, either where you are, what you're doing, or how you're doing it, or whatever it is, well then, in theory, hopefully, and it should be, the person that's going to be the beneficiary of that change would be you. But the person that may be affected by that change in a detrimental way, also at the same time, could be you. Keep that in mind. I will tell you one thing. Around here, me and Mayor are in constant flux. We are changing shit quite often. I'd like to think that we're the beneficiaries. And we also try to share what we do and how we think and everything else like that with other people. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. Worked for us. What's up to you is up to you. You gotta make that change. You gotta make that decision. Sometimes it's easier said than done. I'm very much like the way I keep moving and doing whatever. These are another couple more flats of flowers. I think we're up to 22 flats now, but it's a story for another day. These are doing all right, but they're a little too young, so we're gonna let those evolve, because evolution is change. And you either evolve, or much like the fucking dinosaurs, you become distinct. What's the word, baby?
Extinct.
Extinct?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what, okay. Yeah, you go, what? What was that again?
Extinct.
Extinct. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a positive. I don't know. You tell me. Every year, we do something to the front of our house. Something to the front of our house that's a little bit different. We just changed the lighthouse over there. Looks pretty badass if you ask me. Whenever you're doing a change, it's almost like you're changing a precedent. You're changing, what is it? You change your mind, you decide that you're going to try this, but once again, not every change is good. It's up to you to make that change. It's up to you to figure that out. You notice, hey, I got a new lighthouse, but I still got the same chair. I was just given, the insurance company decided it was time for me to get a new chair. I didn't really like that change. I stuck with this one. I kept the other one as a backup. If you follow Mason Ellis, he got a new chair some years ago, and he held on to his old one. He's betting that there's going to be a problem and there may be a change in the chair that he has. So he's decided to make it so he has a backup plan. So he doesn't have to change his ability to get from point A to point B. So many different changes, so many decisions, and they happen in the blink of an eye. Over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of different changes as far as legally is concerned. However, sometimes change is anarchy, and sometimes change every now and then bites you in the ass. You change something, you know, and that works out good for you, but however, who else could that affect? That's where you have to have insight into the future. We just changed this tree. Had to cut down last year only because it wasn't working out so good. So we were looking for a positive change, and I think it looks fucking fantastic. But you may have a different idea. Perhaps this change doesn't work for you. But when we make a change and we try to change the world or something like that, you better fucking think heavily and long and serious about it. I can motor down the street. No obstructions, but every now and then something happens. That's a change. You know, I made a change a while back. I got a new saw. I gotta keep it on the switch. I can cut shit. I can use this. All right, I changed from the old one because it almost fucking killed me. So I decided this is a change for the better. But we have to be very leery about some of the changes that we make, because sometimes if you're doing something that appears rather, innocent, oh, what's the big deal? What could happen? No big deal. Oh. Really? You gotta be careful with change. You know, we had a situation last year where you'll see this little cheesy little fence. No big deal. Well, we had deer got in here last year. And not that they fucking decimated everything, but they made enough of an impact to piss me the fuck off. So I changed precedent this year, and I said, you can suck my dick. Now this was a change for the deer. What's up, Bull? One of my boys. They're not munching this shit anymore. I also changed my attitude towards them. I like deer, I think they're great. I like them better when they're on your property. They're good to look at. Sort of like a willow tree on somebody else's property. Fuck that, it's a piece of shit, it's a garbage tree. Every fucking thing that you see, every flower, every piece of foliage is nothing more than a fucking over-glorified weed. But used correctly, and if you change the application and the location, they actually look great. Remember this, that a rosebush is a weed if it's planted in the middle of a fucking football field. Keep that in mind. Change is constant. You know what I did in the last couple minutes? Salute. I just changed my beer. Well, works for me. Sometimes you make a change, sometimes life makes changes for you. And then you in turn have to make the decisions. Oh, decisions. You mean like how the mid-cingulate, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. Not only does that derive your willpower and your will to live, but it also is a very big motivation part as far as, or not really motivation, I guess you can call it just part of the brain that makes decisions, good, bad, or indifferent. You have to be the one that figure that out. You have to make that change in order to see if that's a plus, a negative, good, bad, detrimental, beneficial. That's up to you. There is a guy that I always fuck with, and I'm always talking with and stuff like that. I prefer to call him Bobby Venom. He was living in one place, then he moved somewhere else. And for him, and I had told him this at one point, I'm like, that house is going to change your life. He changed his location, he changed his attitude, and its lifestyle is now in flux. And from my perspective, I don't know, maybe like 300 or 400 miles away, I think that's going to work out for him. And I said to him, Bobby, God bless you. Johnny Norton up in Connecticut. I had spoken to him some years ago. You know, had dreadlocks, all this crazy shit and stuff like that. But his attitude was there. But as the years went by, he started to fucking morph. He started to change. I think it's a fucking force to be reckoned with. And before I say that, John Boy, God bless you, brother. But remember, not every change is good. When you fuck with certain things and you change things and they affect someone or something, sometimes it comes back to bite you in the ass. So a lot of times changes, decisions, and what have you, you know, we all have to make them. But be careful and try to think about the implications of what that may, who, what, where, and why, and how that may be affected by your change. If you're going to move something, if you're going to do something, you're going to set a new precedent. Understand this, that somewhere, somehow, somebody along the way is going to be like this. That's interesting. You know what? I could utilize that idea. But that idea may be utilized like the first person. If you ever see the beginning of 2001 Space Odyssey? All right? The monkeys come down and they fucking beat something with a stick. All right? That was one of the first inventions. A fucking club. It changed the entire world. The discovery of fire changed the entire world. Fire is good when it's harnessed. But when your fucking house is on fire, well, let's just say that's not exactly a positive thing. Shit happens. Change it up. Prior to that, think. Think. Make a positive change. Make a change that's not only going to affect you in a positive light, but also make a positive change so that it affects the people around you in a positive way. And if you find it to be a positive thing, share with the fucking crowd. Later, bitches, I'm out. Change that.